We are live.
Okay.
We honour the First Peoples of Australia, their unbroken ties to Aboriginal law, culture and customs. We respect the traditional owners of the lands and waters we inhabit and acknowledge their elders past and present. We celebrate the enrichment of Aboriginal communities around Australia. We recognise the lasting impact of colonisation and dispossession. We salute those who have fought for the rights of First Peoples. Their legacy is our guiding light today and always.
I can't take it anymore!
Good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good morning, Blurtstars, wherever you are around the world. You are listening to the new Blurt.
You absolutely are listening to the new Blurt. Good evening to you. Hi, I'm the Kegsta, coming to you from Wurundjeri country of the Kulin Nation of the Wurundjeri people. Sovereignty was never ceded, always has been and always will be Aboriginal land. Look, good evening, afternoon or morning, wherever you may be in this country or another. We know that we get about 45 or I think it's 48%, something like that, of people listening from overseas. So welcome to you if you are listening to the pod tonight or, tonight for us anyway. We are talking about Beerducation, and if you've listened to this program before, you'll know that's where we have a couple of beers and we get a few tasting notes out, have a bit of fun, and read what's meant to be in the beers, etc., etc. It's a bit of fun, but it's a good way to start the show because then the rest of the show gets particularly loose. So tonight we've got lots of good things to talk about. We've got the Edmonton Oilers into the NHL Finals, as our title says. Northern Lights on Ice, Oilers Quest for Glory, all about the Edmonton Oilers. Our friend Mick D'Ambo and his wonderful son Matty will be very, very excited campers at the moment. And Wencee's got a little bit on that, so we'll have a bit of a converse on the first time. I think it's the first time since 1993 that a Canadian team's actually got into the finals, the playoffs as they call them, I believe, for the Stanley Cup. I could be wrong there. I know it's 1993, the last time a Canadian team won. Whether they got in before that, I'm not 100% sure. But once you'll get us back on the straight and narrow on that one. We've got heaps of elections on around the world at the moment. Mexico's got a new president. We'll have a chat about that, find out who they are. India's got an election. In fact, I think they went today, I believe. And Wencee will give us a bit on that one. And South Africa's got an election. I think that was last week. UK has an election, July the 4th. Lots and lots going on from an election point of view. And World Environment Day tomorrow, in case you don't know. We'll have a little chat about that. Pride Month. We are in Pride Month. If you don't know what Pride Month is, we'll have a little natter about that as well. And Trump Watch to finish off. So massive show. It's going to be fun. It always is fun. But before we start the fun, we need the co-host. And so therefore, I say, good evening. Wencee.
Woo! Hello. There's my crowd. My renter crowd is back. Yay. nice. Settle down. I'm not that important. Come on. It's not like I've just won an election or anything. So
well, it looks like everyone is winning one, so maybe it's your turn.
It is the year of elections, isn't it? I can't remember the exact stat, but I did hear 2024. I think the majority of democracy on this planet was going to elections this year. It's like more than half of the population.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because you got 330 million. Mind you, 330 million ain't going to vote in America. It'll only be about 140 million, and then you've got the UK, which has got 70 million, but again, that's not compulsory, so that'll only be, 40 million, whatever. And then you've got India, and I'm not sure if it's compulsory or they just really want to there, but I'm sure you'll let us know that. It's a lot of that happening. But we don't want to get into Blurt around the world.
No, not yet.
No, because we've got... excuse me, I've got a bit of reflux. I'm just going to go on mute.
Yep. We were just talking about that before the show. Anyway, before I get started and get stuck into this show, I do want to acknowledge the lands from which I am coming from you today, the Jugger and Turrbal people of the Manjan Nation, and I do pay my respects to elders past and present, knowing that they were big storytellers on this continent. So
Well,
we
they still are.
They still are, and we are continuing that tradition on this show. As they tell stories, we tell our own stories. So yes, my big
Absolutely
respects there.
100%.
Yes.
We definitely do honor that storytelling process, as it were.
Yes.
And in fact, I think we're going to an event tomorrow night. It goes for about 3 hours, and I know it's a big event, and I think it's part of the Rising Festival.
Oh, okay.
Which is one we
What's
went
that?
to see last year, and it had I'm sure it had an Indigenous bent to it, but I can't.
Oh, okay.
I just can't remember. There was a festival, or there was a thing that was on last year whereby I remember seeing a piece of art that was in the Flinders Street old sort of station-y part. They use that like a mobile art gallery sort of
That's
now.
right. Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. I think you've shown photos on the show before, actually.
Is that the exhibition you went to last year
Yes.
or the last time I was there?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And it
I
had
never got to go to that one.
Oh, that was just
You did.
unbelievable.
You loved it.
And it was amazing. And the other thing about that was it was only just the other day we were watching, I can't remember what we were watching. I really wish. It might have been Backroads, maybe, on the ABC, and they were talking to a lot of Indigenous people. It was very much a northern town that was, that had a lot of First Nations living in the town. I can't remember where it was, but it was very far up north. And one of the persons that lived in the town was the artist that actually created what we saw in the station, and they showed how they created it digitally, etc. It was really, really cool, and it was incredible. Basically, what it was, if I can just be quick about it, it was a digital virtual ant mound, and what happened was the ant mound would grow. You'd see all these ants, and obviously it's all in Indigenous painting and artwork, but it's all done digitally. And then what would happen is it would just grow and grow and grow, and you'd get all these different things going all around this giant ant mound. And then what would happen is you'd get these virtual footprints go around the ant mound. And what those footprints were the artist's auntie who died. I think she died during when he was making the art, etc., etc. And just showing that, her footsteps are still part of, as they do with their stories. Anyway, that was an incredible piece of art. So, yeah, we're seeing something tomorrow night. I'm sure it's Indigenous. Anyway, I'll tell you about it next week, because I'm sure it'll be, I think it's going to be a little bit eye-opening, so it's going to be interesting. So,
nice.
But anyway.
Looking forward to hearing about that one.
Absolutely. And talking about eye-opening, I think we need to do some beer opening.
Yes, that's right.
Do you want to go first, or?
Sure. Always happy to go first.
I was going to say, this is a segment you never say, no, you go first.
Like you have to ask me twice, or
no, hardly even once.
Yeah. Do you? Yes.
I think I only just need to go. I don't think there's any more than that.
Yeah, true. All right.
Anyway,
speaking of beers,
what do you got for me, my friend?
I have a beer from a brewery that we went past a few weeks ago here in Brisbane. We were shopping for we were looking for a haberdashery store for Elijah, our oldest, because this haberdashery, I think that's what they're called. They sell offcuts of materials, wool, textiles, buttons, and all that stuff. And it's either secondhand or seconds or offcuts and stuff like that. So we went to this place in Brendale, north of Brisbane, which is probably, could be wrong, but it's about 15 or 20 k's north of Brisbane CBD. And right next to it was this brewery, Hip Hops Brewers. And it looked really funky and quite busy for a Saturday afternoon. It was after lunch, and we thought
fate served you a helpful hand.
It did. And Kim, my partner, is not a beer person at all, but she did suggest, "Oh, would you like to go there?" And once again, I did not have to say yes. She could just see it in my face. So we went.
I imagine Kim just went, "Yep."
Yeah, yes. Exactly right. So we went, and I ended up getting a paddle of 6 or 7 beers to try, and this wasn't one of them. But I brought back little paddles, just 200 mils. I wouldn't be able to drink after 2 pints. Oh, drive, sorry.
You were driving,
yeah. I was driving at the time, so
yeah. No.
I ended up not driving because I had to. Yeah, I had 2 pints worth basically.
Yeah, well, definitely not going to drive on that. Yeah, no, I wouldn't even drive hardly on a pint nowadays.
Yeah, true. But so I ended up bringing back a 6-pack of various beers, and this is one of them. As you do. So this is one of them. It's called White Brick
Lakeside
Lager.
Nice.
So I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's 5% ABV, alcohol by volume, 15 IBU. That's the bitterness scale, so IBV. Not very bitter. And it's only 1.5 standard drinks in that can. So straight from their website, from the moment you take your first sip, you'll be greeted by the bright and lively flavors that dance across the palate, leaving you feeling invigorated and refreshed. Each sip is a journey of discovery with subtle hints of malt and hops coming together in perfect harmony to create a truly harmonious drinking experience. But it's not just about the taste. It's with its light body and clean finish, our Asian-style lager is the perfect choice for any occasion, just like now. Whether you're kicking back with friends after a long day or enjoying a sunny afternoon in the backyard. So, yes, Asian-y inspired.
Asian-y, okay.
Asian. I don't know what that means in a beer, but
no, not really.
Lemongrass, don't know.
No.
All right, so here we go. Cracked it open. Let's hope I don't spill any. All right. I will get the tasting notes up in a second. Oh, can you see that? Yes, you can. Hiding my mug.
Now, as a rule, I didn't think you were a big lager fan.
I am trying to expand my repertoire and trial all sorts of stuff.
Okay, well done, you. Nice job.
Trying not to stick to the IPAs or PAs or any letter PA.
Okay, I will follow your lead and get out of my lane as well.
Yes, which I think you're doing tonight.
Yes, very much so. Yes. In fact, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep afterwards.
All right.
So I don't know if it was a great choice, but we'll find out.
Find out soon enough. So there's my drink, and our first one that we usually start with is appearance, and I believe lagers are supposed to be nice and clear, not hazy like a hazy IPA. But yeah, that one, it looks quite nice, nice and yellow. So I'll give that an 8 out of 10. I don't know what constitutes a 10 out of 10 appearance, but that's pretty close.
No, I agree. For a lager, that's pretty good. I'd be pretty happy with that.
All right, let's go in for the nose and the smell. Oh, definitely very
lager,
a little bit citrusy. lager. That's a song, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. I'm trying to remember what one it is. But I've just been trying to, in the background, pick this up. I'm trying to just see if I can play this.
Definitely enjoying the smell. It's very fresh. like a walk in the Asian rice paddy.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess it does have a bit of a rice smell. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Well, you know that beer's got its own song, yeah?
Does it?
It does, yeah. Just give me 2 seconds, and I will give you the audio. Just trying to find it. It is.
All right, I think that's enough. We might get copyrighted on that one.
There you go. They've got
Nice,
their
Lakeside.
own. Yes.
They've got their own backing track for this.
Their own
So
backing
Lakeside
track.
Lager.
Yeah, no, we probably will get done for that for the video, but whatever.
It's all right.
That's fine.
We'll
Okay.
we'll blur it out.
It'll be on the pod, doesn't it?
Yes, we'll see. We'll see what Google says.
I'll be on the pod, up. So.
Yeah, exactly. Taste out of 30. Let's give it a good old taste.
Where are we? Which one you on? I can't see.
I'm down here. Lakeside
Right,
Lager.
you're on the bottom one. Oh, yes,
Yep.
I got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yes, good. Okay, taste. Yep.
Sort of tasting a little
wow.
bit of orange, citrus. Like I could smell lemony smell before, but I think out of 30, I'd give this one a 25 out of 30.
Okay. Wow.
Definitely not.
Pretty good beer.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Aftertaste, it's not very hoppy, and it doesn't like I said with the IBU, the bitterness scale 15. There's no bitterness at all.
No Abbott. No
Abbottness. Aftertaste, I'll give it a 15. So I could definitely go back for seconds or thirds because it's a pretty light drink, which brings us to drinkability. Like I said, could probably easily go 2 or 3 of these in one sitting. So I'd give that one a 24.
79. No, 80 exactly.
Exactly 80. Nice.
Yeah.
Exactly there you
80.
go. So very nice beer.
Very, very good one.
Once again, it is Hip Hops Brewery, and it's Lakeside Lager, white brick.
And it's sorry, what was it again? It was I just can't wait, babe, I just can't wait.
Lakeside Lager. Who is that? Why does this sound so familiar?
Australian Crew.
That's it. So what's the guy's name again?
Great question. I can see his face. And James Rain.
James Rain. Yeah, sounds about right. I was thinking Darryl Braithwaite when you first played it, and then I thought, no, it doesn't quite sound like him.
Definitely exactly the same era. So you've smashed that. You've definitely smashed that. Okay, beautiful work as usual.
Nice.
80.
Yeah.
So look at your averages. I mean, seriously, your Brisbane Brewing was 79. I mean, obviously, you and I were on something one night when we did the battle over passion fruit sour, whatever that shite was. But
and the green bacon guava beer.
Oh God, never doing that again. Never doing that again. So okay, so this is Shedshaker, made in Castlemaine, and they like it being pronounced as "wee." I can't find the
Zoom out. Oh, that's better.
There we go. Shedshaker.
So is it Castlemaine or Castlemaine?
No, if you say Castlemaine, they know that you don't come from Castlemaine.
I should ask my my mother-in-law how she calls it, because she's not that far from Castlemaine.
Yes,
she's in Wheatchief near.
Yes, Wheatchief. What a great name.
Wheatchief, yeah.
So that's my dark lager.
As you'd expect, nice and dark.
Pretty dark. I'd say color-wise, probably 8.
8.
Give it a smell. Now, I probably need to do a little bit of spouting on this. So we've taken the planet's two favorite drinks and brought them together in a holy union of ethically sourced Tiger Mountain Arabica coffee from our friends at Coffee Basics, exotic dark malts and the spicy hit of American hops. Surprisingly light, full-flavored and refreshing. This Schwarzbier-style lager is chocolatey, rich and satisfying. A guilt-free breakfast beer.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you should have this for breakfast. The IBU on this is 5.2. So
Wow.
I wouldn't be having that for breakfast.
No.
But
Unless your breakfast was like at 4 p.m. because you've had a big night.
Yeah, that's true. That is very, very, very true.
I know that's likely in some circles of people that I hang around with.
Yes, in the past that has happened. So I like this. It's made from the tears of angels.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Now,
okay.
That
might be bitter. Does that mean it's going to be bitter?
It could be. It could be indeed. So Shedshaker used to be Castlemaine Brewery.
Right.
And what happened is the Castlemaine bullshit bloody
with 4X
rubbish beer, in Queensland,
mm-hmm.
bought that name. And so therefore Castlemaine in Castle freaking Maine couldn't remain Castlemaine.
Bloody Queenslanders, honestly.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. It's exactly how I felt. Anyway, I quite like their new name, Shedshaker, and they have fantastic beers, and this is just one of them. It's called the Espresso Black Lager. So let's have a sniff. Definitely.
Does it say in there how many milligrams of caffeine it has?
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, I'm scared to read it. I'm scared to read it because I want to go to sleep tonight at some stage.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, look, I'm worried too. I am definitely worried about this. No, it does not tell me anywhere where I can see how much caffeine it's got in it, which is a real shame. Hopefully, it's just maybe a bit of a flavour and not much more, which would be nice.
Yep.
Oh,
so smell.
Absolutely smell the coffee big time.
So they're not lying there.
No, not at all. And it smells chocolatey too. So look, it smells what it says it is. So from that perspective, I'll give it an 8.
So as advertised, it is chocolatey and caffeinated. It's gone for seconds.
It's going to take me to show.
A bit heavy, is it? I can see why they said it's a breakfast drink.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely feels you.
Yeah. This with the bacon and eggs probably work quite well, I imagine.
It might work well as a brunch if you're having it about 10:30, 11. Maybe.
Oh yeah. With like bacon and eggs, or good eggs Benedict or something. It'd be pretty bloody amazing, to be honest.
Don't know about at 8:30 at night, but yeah, we'll see.
I agree, 100%. 100% with you.
So taste.
It's a very good beer. I like dark lagers. It's got definitely has a coffee back end. I can taste that. Probably what am I out of? 30 is it? Oh, 30. Okay, easy 25. Yeah, absolutely 25 for sure.
We're neck and neck so far on the beers. Aftertaste.
Again, probably. Let me try. Aftertaste is good. Probably 16.
16. Nice.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Pulled ahead.
Yes, but this is where I will go down in a screaming heap because you couldn't have too many of these.
No.
No.
Depends on the type of night you're after, though.
Well, true, but it's very heavy. It's very heavy too, though. It's a lovely beer, but I think after a couple you might go into a Scotch or something. Just
okay.
even
Just
it
to
out
balance
a
it
little
out. Yeah.
bit. Yeah, exactly right. So drinkability, I'd probably give it, say, 22.
22.
Because you wouldn't want to neck too many of these. It's just not that sort of beer.
So if I'm not mistaken, that's just 1 point behind mine, 79.
Is it really? Did you do 23? Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, no, maybe it's 78. It could be 78, actually.
Oh, darn it, and plop plops.
Ah.
No, because I had an
700.
aftertaste at 16 and you had an aftertaste. Oh, no, that's last time. Yeah, no, 79. You're right the first time.
Oh, was I?
Yeah, because you've gone 8,
can't be.
825, 16, 22. Yeah. Oh, no,
No.
16. Yeah,
No,
23.
78.
Yeah, no,
They're
you're
all
right.
even.
78. You're right.
78.
78.
Still very close. Very, very
Yes.
close.
Yeah,
Not
very
that
similar
it's
to the week
competition
before.
at all.
No, but you've won again. But two fantastic beers. Would
Definitely.
highly recommend both.
Go do yourself a favor.
Absolutely.
We'll have
Get
those
out
in the
there.
show notes, of course. And I don't know how easy it is to get the Brisbane beers down south, down your way.
Well, vice versa. I'm not sure how easy it is to get Shedshaker.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know they have a website, and I'm pretty sure that if you went to that website, you'd be able to buy them online.
Yeah,
I'm pretty definitely sure that they do ship them, and they're worth buying online because they are really, really good beers. And they've got quite a few different styles, etc.
Yeah.
So,
and the Hip Hops Brewers, again, same deal. The beers that I tasted were all great. I don't think there was one that I didn't like. I didn't try any of the sours that they sold, but I had their red IPA, which I loved, and I've still got one in the fridge. I'm pretty sure I had a Griffin Golden Ale, which was quite nice. I do have one here that, if time allows, I might have a drink tonight, and it's the brown ale, the James Brown Ale.
Oh, nice. And what are the alcohol percentages on these ones?
So the Lakeside Lager was 5%. The brown ale is 5.5, so it's a little bit meatier. And that one has orange citrus flavors too, so it will be interesting if I drink it tonight. But anyway, great beers we've had.
They are absolutely magnificent beers, and you got to be careful. You don't want to get too much alcohol in your blood system. So, with that,
when you give blood, you're more than just a blood donor. You're the lifeblood of Australia. Search Give Blood and book your donation with Australian Red Cross Lifeblood today. Give life. Give blood.
The Australia Institute produces high-quality research that has real-world impact, whether it's revealing the $10.3 billion in fossil fuel subsidies provided by federal and state governments last year, or our long-standing research advocating for a federal anti-corruption commission with real teeth. We change minds. To donate, head on over to australiainstitute.org.au.
Blurt around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world.
We are blurting around the world this week, and we have a lot to blurt about.
We do. Where shall we start? Shall we start off with the good news?
I think so, definitely.
Well, let's start off with the Oilers. I've sort of been closely following it because I knew that they made it to the playoffs, and I've been checking it out and going, yes, they've won the that leg and stuff like that. I can't say that I know much about NHL or the National Hockey League.
Yeah, National Hockey League. Yep.
Which is funny because it's two countries, isn't it? Canada and the US.
Yes, it is very funny. Yes, absolutely. It makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah. There's another thing that makes no sense, but I'll get to that in a little bit. The Oilers, like you mentioned, haven't won in a long time. So you mentioned 1993. 1993 is a big, important year in terms of the finals here that the Oilers are in, because they're playing against the Florida Panthers. Now, for me, Florida and ice just makes no sense either. So I
hold
don't
on for
quite
2 seconds.
understand.
Hold on for
Yes.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. You said 1993. I gather you meant 2024.
No. So 1993 is an important year for these two teams.
Oh,
Because for the team, because 1993 is when the Florida Panthers
sorry, my bad.
entered the NHL. So it's the first year that they entered.
Gotcha. Yes.
And they haven't
Another
won
franchise
since.
team.
Yes, another franchise team. And they haven't won since they entered the competition. And 1993, like you alluded to earlier, was the last time a Canadian team won the NHL. The Edmonton Oilers won in 1990. And they were last in the NHL finals in 2006. Now, I don't profess to be an expert, and if there's anyone watching or listening live, and if you want to correct me, do it in the comments, but I will do my best to get this accurate.
Right.
They have won 5 other times. 1984, this is the Oilers, that is. 1984, 85, 87, 88 with Wayne Gretzky in 88, and then 1990 as well.
That was without Wayne Gretzky too.
And that was without, correct.
Yeah.
The legendary Wayne Gretzky.
Well, he was traded to the LA Kings.
That's right. Yeah, sounds about right. So Canada is riding on the backs of the Oilers. Hopefully they will win it for the Canadians this year. It is best of 7, so the first to win four matches.
All over by the shouting.
Exactly. The Oilers did start very badly this season, and come November 2023, they had a 2-9-1 record. 2 being they'd only won two matches. 9 they had lost.
Holy
and
shit.
1 they had won in overtime. So
wow. Okay. So that means they played 12 and only won 2. Is that correct?
2,
or 1 3?
correct. And that was under the then coach Jay Woodcroft. So they promptly booted him out or hit him out of the park. I don't know what the term is in hockey.
Definitely wouldn't be hitting out of the park.
No, because that's baseball, isn't it? That's baseball.
Yes, it is.
Stay
in your lane. Just stay in your lane.
So at that point in November, they were equal last. So then they replaced Coach Jay Woodcroft with Chris Noblack.
Chris Snowballs. Yep. Okay.
Don't say that. He's got a winning team, so he's got balls. Okay.
Yes, he must have. He must have.
So he turned the team around, and they, under his leadership, their record or their stats is 46 wins, 18 losses, and 5 overtime losses.
How many games do they play? Each team a year.
They play
without
82 games. They play 41 games because there's 2. What do they call them? Confederates? No, 2 conferences.
Conferences. Yeah.
Conferences.
They have East, West, South,
East
and North.
West. Yeah, East and West.
Oh, so no, East, West. That's it. All right. Okay.
Just East, West. So they've got Florida's in the East, Oilers, Edmonton, the West.
Yeah.
So so that's the idea is that they play 41 games. They're supposed to play each team at their home ground, and then away games I think is equal. It's not easy to understand. I'm still trying to get my head around it.
No, it's not easy to understand. And anyone that listens to this podcast is more than happy to write to blurtstar@gmail.com or get us on the new Blurt on Instagram, or get us on the new Blurt on Twitter or Threads or anything
These
like
ones
that.
down here that we're right.
Absolutely. And put your comments in. Anything to do with this, we're more than happy to be corrected. There's no problem.
That's right.
If you want to tell us exactly what's going on, perfect. We will we will not just take your word for it. We will research your word, but it will probably be more than us. But
Yes,
but
exactly.
Wencee's doing a fine job.
Thank you. So so here we are with the finals. The series kicks off this Saturday night, local time. I think it's in Canada. I could be wrong, but yes, best of 7, and I think I'll be watching them as much as I can.
Do you know what streaming service you can watch them on, Wencee?
KO.
It's KO, is it?
KO, yes,
Okay.
because I've
All
been
right.
watching some of the highlights from the last few matches.
All right. Has it been good?
It's definitely entertaining and interesting. I don't understand the rules, and I just see a bunch of guys going around in circles hitting the little puck. But
Yeah.
I'm sure if I was in Melbourne, I'd probably go watch a match with Mick.
Yeah.
At a pub if it was being televised, and happy to learn more. So it's definitely something I wouldn't mind getting into.
Well, there was an occasion a couple of years ago where the USA came over. They came over with like a representative team. I can't remember. It was either the USA or the Edmonton Oilers. I can't remember, but it was a representative side, and they were playing the Australian side. And it was I think it was at Rod Laver Arena. I think, but I'm not 100% sure. And it was very cool. It was good to watch. We went with Mick and etc. And it was it was pretty cool. And Mick had told me afterwards that he was able to actually play, because he plays ice hockey here. He was able to play with Wayne Gretzky.
Wow.
On the same team. And he's got he's got a jersey in his house that's framed. It's got Gretzky and signed and all the rest of it. And then there's one that's framed of the same team with Mick's number and name on it as well, because they played on the same team. And it was amazing because all his friends back in Canada are just like, what, the actual? And it's like you had to come all the way to Australia to play with Wayne Gretzky, where those people would give their eye teeth to play with Wayne Gretzky. He's such an absolute legend. And to say as much of a legend as he was, the Edmonton Oilers in the 1980s were often regarded as the greatest dynasty in NHL history. And their success during this era solidified Edmonton's place in hockey history and established a legacy of excellence that the franchise continues to build upon. We'll find out if they do or if they don't. But yeah, I mean, Gretzky was widely considered the greatest hockey player of all time. So that's pretty amazing to be able to play with the greatest hockey player of all time.
Yeah.
When you totally revere them. So that was pretty cool.
Exactly. And we got to see that jersey in Mick's room when we had him on our show. I think it was last year.
Yeah, that's true. He had that on the back, didn't he?
Yeah, and we commented about it, and he told us a little bit about it. So
that was very good. Yes,
it was.
Well, hopefully, maybe we can get him or Maddie on the show during the finals and let us know what's going on. That would be very cool. So it's a shout out to you or Maddie to come on the show and let us know exactly what's going on, because I know Maddie in particular is just magnificent at sort of winding down who played and what the score was and what the time was and who was the best player and all this sort of stuff. Right. He's just all over it. So it'd be fantastic to get him on. But talking about fantastic things, there was an election. Many actually. There's been an Indian election today, but before you talk about that one, I'm just going to talk about the Mexican one, because the Mexican election, I have a tiny little bit here, and I'm just going to see if I can pop this up.
President Biden is congratulating security correspondent Julia Ainsley. Rod, tell us more. Who is Claudia Sheinbaum, and why did voters choose her as their next president?
I should start off by saying that President Biden will be able to have conversations with her in English, something he could not do with current President Andrés Manuel López Obrador.
I love that. He pronounces that so well. I just gotta.
In English, she lived in the U.S. for some time while taking classes at Berkeley and Stanford. As you mentioned, she's an academic. She has a PhD in energy engineering, which gives a lot of hope to Mexicans that have placed a lot of focus on climate change here and on issues with energy, the cost of power, the cost of gasoline. So we expect her to focus more attention on how Mexico can move forward with the issues, sometimes with gasoline prices going up and also the cost of energy. Let's hear from Shane Baum last night when she spoke to her supporters.
No llegó sola, llegamos todas, con nuestras heroínas que nos dieron patria, con nuestras ancestras, nuestras madres, nuestras hijas y nuestras nietas. Con los Estados Unidos habrá una relación de amistad.
Because obviously that's in Spanish.
Yes,
and
it's hard to get subtitles for a podcast.
Yes, it is indeed, and I don't know how many Spanish listeners we have. And
you have a co-host.
Yes, I do. Did you understand everything she was saying?
I was listening and understanding. Yes.
Nice work. Brilliant. So I'll cut that off there. But I do have a little bit on who she actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, with this election, it wasn't even close. They won by 30%.
Wow, that's a big margin, isn't it?
Absolutely huge. So Sheinbaum becomes the first woman and the first person of Jewish descent to lead Mexico. So that's that's the first already. So she's a woman, is the first. She's Jewish, that's the first.
Yeah.
She's like winning in a supermajority in the Congress. And the other thing is she speaks fluent English, as they spoke about then. So that means that she can have easy conversations with Biden. The other president didn't speak very good English, so that would have been harder for Biden.
Yeah,
especially Biden being 80. Sure. I imagine he's well, I don't know. Maybe he can speak Spanish, but I don't know.
He would have had his translators anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's quite nice when you just do it one-to-one sort of thing. So
yeah,
she's a climate scientist. There you go.
Which is great. Surely that's the first climate scientist, environmental secretary also, who's taken office of a country like the leader. It's got to be a first.
It has to be a first, I would have thought. And she was the former mayor of Mexico City, so she obviously was loved. And I just love the fact that she's a climate scientist. They have elected. It's hard to get your head around this. You've got the climate scientist just being elected Mexico, right?
Yeah.
And you've got a nutbag like Orange Head talking about rapists and murderers and all this bullshit coming from Mexico.
Yeah.
And they've just elected a climate scientist, and this guy is a climate denier.
Yeah. And they elected a female to boot.
Yeah. It's just
and Mexico is very populous city, because I think from memory it's well over or close to Australia's population in
Mexico
City. Mexico City.
Wow.
And you can only imagine what the pollution would be like in a city like that. So having an environmental scientist as your leader, surely that's got to mean some good things for it.
Oh, Jesus, it would have to, wouldn't it? I mean, she's made progress on poverty, inequality, including pension increases for informal workers, but she faces a challenge with healthcare improvements for informal workers. And controversial fossil fuel projects, including the Trenmeier, face criticism for environmental and Indigenous impacts. So it'll be interesting where it goes. You can only hope, as you said, that you're a climate scientist. You're thinking, well, come on, seriously. So
let's hope she doesn't get bought out by the fossil fuel companies like leaders here in Australia have. And correction on the population, Mexico City is only about 9 million.
Oh, okay, no problem.
The country's about 130 million.
Is it really 130 million? Holy crap! So Scheinbaum has contributed to a major IPCC report that came out this year and supports clean energy development. But she defends the Tren Maya project, which is the fossil fuel project we just spoke about.
Yeah.
Plans to expand the project to a major port in Progreso in Yucatan. And pledges $13.6 billion program to boost Mexico's renewable energy sector amidst climate challenges. So it looks like she's walking both sides of the tightrope, you know.
You've also got to remember that these projects were probably already in place, either being built or to be built before she came in, or winning.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Especially in these sort of countries, or even in our country. I mean, you can't just dump something immediately. And I mean, smart people realize that. They understand that. Even you and I, I mean, you know, we're green enough, but we understand you can't just shut off a coal station like immediately now.
Exactly.
Because you're going to put a lot of people out of work, and you know, we won't have a stable grid and blah blah blah. We know we need to transition all those things. We understand that. But anyway, it seemed like good news to me. So we'll see if it is, but it seems like it.
Yeah, what's his space? We'll see in a year or two's time. Well, let's hope some
absolutely
positives come out of it.
We will be watching for sure.
Yeah. And hopefully they have a good relationship with whoever's in power in America on the other side of the border. So we'll see.
All right, my friend. What's going on in India and South Africa?
India. Oh, before we continue, just so the people know the numbers, in Mexico, she and her party got 60% of the vote, and 29% was the second placed party. That's
massive.
That's
60%.
huge. That's double.
It's huge.
Yeah. So she won by a landslide, like you said.
Well, no, she did. That's huge. 6% is massive.
Yeah. So good on them. So India had a 7-week campaign where they started their voting process. Such a populous country that it does take a long time. It's not like you can do it in one day, like we can.
1.4 billion, is that right?
Yes, 1.4 billion, and around about 970 million of that 1.4 billion are actually eligible to vote.
So
and it isn't
two-thirds.
Yeah. So not compulsory to vote, but like many countries, I think Australia must be a unique country where it's compulsory to vote.
I don't think there's too many. I'll have to do some research, but I don't think there's too many countries that do make voting compulsory. And the interesting thing is that in some of those sort of, I'd say third world countries, but sort of, you know what I mean, not fully democratic, et cetera, whatever that means nowadays. But anyway, they don't have to vote if they don't want to vote,
Correct.
But I mean, that's even in fully democratic countries. New Zealand's the same, et cetera, et cetera. The UK's the same. But in the countries that are you don't have to vote, they really want to vote, like the people in South Africa and people that have been oppressed, et cetera, they want to vote.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So in the Indian general election, the Bharatiya Janata Party, the BJP, which is led by Narendra Modi, who tends to be a bit to the right, or quite a lot to the right of politics.
He likes Trump.
He does, yes. They do get on well, and there's definitely tension in the country with because his party is Hindu, and so the Muslims in the north and where Pakistan is, which I think is to the west, there's always tensions there. So I know there's a lot of tension and dislike of the BJP party as a result.
I think he's allowed like aggressive Hinduism.
Sounds very similar to what Trump says, is what I suspect. There's some of the language that he uses and stuff like that. Yeah. So, yes, they are the biggest democratic country in the world. Excuse me. This has become his third successive term as Prime Minister of India, which is a record.
I gather he won then, yeah?
Yes. So his party won 306 seats. The Indian National Congress came second with 103, so decisive win by the BJP. And then there were 137 other seats by many other smaller parties.
I think it's 572 or 542 seats or something, is it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's
It's a lot. It's a lot. Definitely a clear victory for them. So that's all I've got for Indian election.
Does it
Did you
say
have
what
anything
they?
else to add?
Well, no. The only thing I was going to ask is, does it say what they actually stand for? I mean, why do people vote for them?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
What is their platform?
Mm.
Why would people want to vote for them? I personally believe there probably was a lot of intimidation.
Yeah, probably that. I know they've Modi and his party have talked a lot about bringing in a lot more manufacturing and tech into the country over the last few years. So it's probably running on that platform as well. So you've got to give him credit. He has built India to become a big powerhouse in the world in terms of the economy and things like that as well. So the fact that a lot of multinational companies like Apple, Samsung are all starting to invest in India for making their products and things like that. There's obviously quite a lot of money.
There's only one reason they do that, though.
Cheap labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people that are probably doing the cheap labor are probably under terrible conditions.
Yeah, probably. So you're just shifting shit conditions from one country to another. This is where
just make people pay more for the product in the country and get it made by someone who has a decent job.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
if you want to buy it that much, bloody buy it by someone who actually makes a living by making the thing.
Yeah, exactly. It might turn our thinking of consumerism to, do we actually need this product?
Yeah.
And you go, no, we can wait. We can wait another year to replace our TV or phone or sneakers.
It's sort of interesting, actually, just talking about that for 2 seconds, because I was listening to something today or the other day, and I think it was Greg Jericho from the Australian Institute, who I really like, and he's a economist, and he was talking about inflation, etc., and he was talking about the fact that inflation is, I think, 3.6 at the moment. I think last year was 7.1. But what a lot of people sort of get mixed up is that means that everything is has gone up, by 3.6%, and that is true. But everything that went up by 7.1% last year didn't go down again by 7.1% and then go up by 3.6%.
Yeah.
So it's gone up 3.6% on top of the 7.1% went up last year.
Yeah.
So true. And absolutely. And so when we say that inflation's going down, it's not that the prices are necessarily going down. We're just saying the inflation rate is going down, or the inflation rate is going up.
Yeah,
but
the rate of increase is slower rather than a negative
correct
price correction.
100% correct.
Yeah,
but he was saying that in a economy that's not going brilliantly, that would mean that prices were coming down, and the reason for that is because people aren't buying. So to entice demand, you need to bring your prices down.
Yeah.
And he said that's not good for the economy. And I thought to myself, and I thought, well, no, not necessarily, because people don't necessarily not buy stuff because they can't afford it. Maybe, like in our household, we've just decided we are only buying what we need. And we're not going to buy anything new from a place that's made in China or something that is slave labor. And we'll go to the op shop if we really, really need something. When we've made a decision. And I just wonder if in his economic models, if he has put those decisions and those sort of ideas in those models, or is only the thinking, oh, well, people can't afford it. Because I'm like, well, if there's more people out there like us, you're going to get different answers. You're going to get different figures. So anyway,
and it'll definitely affect the economy in a different way that they may not have predicted.
Correct. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
This is exactly
Interesting thought.
Yeah. Well, it's just what I'm thinking. He was going, if it's going down, it means it's a bad economy. And I'm just going, no, it just means I didn't want to buy anything. So
because it also might mean that people are saving more. So that's not a bad thing either.
Well, I know. So it's all a little bit fickle. But actually, talking about fickle, we got the UK election, July the 4th.
Oh, ominous date. That sounds very American.
Yes, well, you're right, because July the 4th, I think, is Independence Day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
I believe. So it is very American. And I did have... I've got a little bit on, just a tiny weeny bit. What do we got? We got the UK's divided into 650 areas. Now, we'll worry about that in a couple of weeks' time. But anyway, so they've got their election July the 4th, and we've got Rishi Sunak, who is, absolutely. We've got Rishi Sunak, that is the Prime Minister at the moment, and he is of the Conservative Party. And then we've got Keir Starmer, and we'll talk more about this in a few weeks' time. But they are the two people, Keir Starmer from the Labor Party and our old friend Nigel Farage is popping his head in.
He's making a comeback, is he?
Yeah, that's
Mr. Brexit.
Yeah, Mr. Brexit. Exactly right. 100% right. Okay, so now Blurt Around the World has been quite good. We've had so much going on. And just letting people know, Pride Month is on next month, just in case you don't know what that is.
This month.
Sorry.
It's already started.
It's already started. You're 100% correct. And in fact, I have some just a little bit of video to prove that has started.
Oh, okay.
West Hollywood caps off a weekend of celebrations with the We Hope Pride Parade. Lifetime ally icon Cyndi Lauper was there on her own float, starting at Crescent Heights, west to Santa Monica, north to San Vicente, and the city's rainbow gypsy.
Started. There it is.
Not just from LA, but nation
I'm
and the world.
not going to describe what I saw being thrown at a board with a hole in it, but it was rubbery and phallic.
Yes.
That's as far as I'll go.
Assuming it was a giant dildo. That's what.
Yes, it was. It was very phallic.
Yes, I'm sure it was. We are talking Pride Month here, so
it is. You should expect stuff like that at a Pride March.
Yes, you absolutely should. You should indeed. So that's a good thing. I saw our rainbow love heart on our windows just the last couple of days where I work in our building.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty good.
Awesome.
And I think I've got an awareness session, as it were, on Friday. So an LGBTQI, so that should be good as well.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know about that one, what you covered, because as you know, we've got a queer person in our household, Elijah.
Yes.
So always curious and keen to learn how that's perceived elsewhere, especially in organizations.
Well, the company that I work for is super diverse and super culturally aware, and they hold quite a lot of First Nations awareness seminars, webinars, and we've got about, I think we've got about probably 500-ish people, I think, in Australia, I think.
Yeah.
We've got a few more than that around the world type thing, but and on some of those First Nations and LGBTQI, we'll probably get about half of that, or just under, that log in. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's great. That's good to spread the awareness and make people more aware and tolerant, I guess.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, don't really like the word tolerant very much, because if you tolerate something, that means, well, I hate that, but I'll put up with it.
Yeah,
but,
true.
I prefer integrate. I prefer, don't know a better word than integrate, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, it's just a bugbear of mine. I've never liked that word tolerate anything, whether it's racism, whatever. Oh no, toleration. No. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that's
just
my
Just my bugbear. But, okay, last one on Battoir, Blurt Around the World, is World Environment Day tomorrow. So that is very important to know.
What can we do?
Well, I'll tell you, I've got a tiny bit here and just trying to find it. Here it is. Right. To see how we go with this. This is World Environment Day. For World Environment Day, the team at PPA India volunteers are leading the way in sustainable living, are dedicated to climate mitigation, ecosystem restoration. Together, they're making a tangible impact for a greener, healthier planet. So this is what they're doing. They're a bunch of Indian kids, and they're trying to do their best. Generation Restoration, it's called, I believe. The first girl, I swear to God, she looks 13 or 14, but she sounds like she's about 35.
Oh,
anyway,
right.
Yeah. Very well educated, but also very deep voice. Anyway, you'll know what I mean. So I'll just pop
towards my books for years, but I'm also a part of Generation Restoration. I support and participate in climate mitigation initiatives such as tree plantation drives, beach cleanups, and awareness drives. You must have seen it.
I'm Team PP India. Of course, I love gardening, but I'm also a part of Generation Restoration. So, of course, I believe in planting saplings to combat climate change.
Nice.
I'm Team PP India. Of course, I prioritize energy efficiency, but I'm also a part of restoration. Of course, I switch off extra lights when not in use to reduce my carbon footprint. I'm Team PPA. Of course, I
very well off that house.
I'm also Generation Restoration, so I do my bit to reduce my carbon footprint.
Hi guys, I am Team PPA India. Of course, I believe in donating all of my old clothes, my books.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, you see, unfortunately. The have and have nots, it makes a real difference to what you can and can't do in a green generation,
And that's in any country, really.
Yeah,
you can't expect homeless people here in Brisbane to be considerate of the environment and things like that. So
No, you're right. Trying to get a
yeah.
meal. No, you're spot on.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. So, but we'll go a quick break and then we'll be back with Trump Watch.
Hey, this is Hannah Melville Ray from the Australia Institute. I'm listening to the new Blurt with Wencee and the Kegsta, and you should be too. It's on Tuesday nights, live from around 8 p.m.
11,780 votes to win the election. No, fellas, I need 11,000 votes.
Losers only. It's Trump Watch.
It is absolutely Trump Watch. It is Trump Watch. It is a fantabulous episode of Trump Watch this week.
It's been a great week. Great week.
It has been a great week. What we've wanted for so long. Now, just to clear up a couple of things, a lot of people are saying that Trump is a convicted felon. Now, unfortunately, he's not a convicted felon yet.
Okay.
Yet. When he gets sentenced on July the 11th, that's when technically he's a convicted felon.
Right. Okay. So he's been found guilty on the 34 counts.
Correct.
That's
on the 34 felonies. Correct.
Yeah.
But he hasn't actually become technically a felon yet.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So, but
can't come soon enough. That's for sure.
Yes, I 100% agree with that, my friend. 100%. But with that, what rights does Trump lose as a felon when he is a felon? So I've got a couple of bits here. So in Florida, he can't hold a public office unless he, even if he was president, he still couldn't hold a public office because he won't be able to waive this away because it's a state. It's a state conviction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he still wouldn't be able to hold public office unless they change the law. Which, knowing him, they probably will.
They will.
Yeah. New York also bars felons from many public offices.
Mm-hmm.
Jury service. Felons in Florida lose the right to serve on a jury. And jury service
I'm sure he loves jurors at the moment.
Sure he does. And it's good you talk about that because we're going to hear from a juror very soon.
Oh, nice.
Yes, one of the jurors, the 11th juror of the jury that was on the porn star hush money case. The jury service is almost typically prohibited for felons in many states as well. He can't own a gun. The fact he bullshits on about the NRA, he hates guns. He hates guns. He's just an idiot. He's such an idiot. Anyway, restoration of rights. In New York, felons can apply for this certificate to restore rights after 3 years. Clemency. Florida requires felons to apply for clemency to restore civil rights.
Yeah. Is that at the state level or the federal level?
This is only state because this is only a state charge. It's not a federal charge.
Right.
Yeah. Clemency applications for out-of-state convictions defer to the state of conviction. And what else we got? So, Class C felonies in New York can lead up to 4 years in prison. Well, that's what this is. This is a Class C. And there's been quite a lot of conjecture around, he won't go to prison. It never really happens. He's a first-time offender. He's an old bastard, etc., etc. So probably not going to put him in prison. I've also heard some contrary to that, which is said that in 10% of cases, they do go to jail. In 10% of cases, they do, even if they're a first offender, they can still go to jail. It just depends on what the criteria is to why that would be the case.
Right. Okay.
Obviously, the judge in this case has got a really good reason to want to put him in jail because he's been a complete and utter asshole the whole time this has been going, and target his family, targeted the judge, trying to target jurors, etc. etc. He's just a horrible piece of work. So there's a chance he will go to prison. I don't personally think he will.
I don't think so either.
But I think he may. I think he will get probation though.
Okay.
Which I think that would be actually. I actually think community service would be the best.
Yeah.
Be nothing better than little MAGA head on the side of the road picking up rubbish. That'd be great.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you want. That's exactly what you want. So he could face restrictions traveling to countries that bar entries to felons. So 38 countries, including Canada and Mexico, restrict entry to felons.
Wow.
I wonder if Australia is part of that 38 countries. I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I know Australian government does put restrictions on people with felonies and who are convicted for criminal activities because they're always in the news when people try to come in, and I'm sure he'll be stopped at the border.
Well, it'll be interesting. It will be very interesting. Now, this is the interesting part. Presidential pardon. A presidential pardon only applies to federal offenses, not state convictions.
There you go.
Trump would need a pardon from the New York governor, which is unlikely because most of the time the New York governor will hate Orangehead.
Yeah.
So,
unless they get a Republican governor.
Yeah, which they haven't had for a long time, I don't believe. So, mind you, the governor they have, or the mayor, or whatever they have in New York now, seems like a bit of a douche. But anyway, the congressional action. So Congress could theoretically bar Trump from office via a special measure. Now, that's only going to happen if the Democrats flip the House in the election.
Right, okay.
So they could do that if they flip the House, even if he won the presidency, they could still do it if they flip the House.
Right.
Impeachment and Senate conviction can also bar individuals from federal office. The gag order on Trump remains in effect during appeals and sentencing, which is interesting.
Doesn't stop him though, does it?
Doesn't seem to. I'm like, how?
That's the worst part.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, how close are you to that gag order? But anyway. Security clearance. Presidents do not require security clearance, even with a felony conviction. So what? Ex-presidents don't require security clearance?
That's what it sounds like.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Security clearance difficulties are generally a concern for non-presidential roles. Interesting.
Okay.
Background of charges, felony conversion, misdemeanor falsifying, blah, 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 blah. Trump's charges involve an intent to commit federal campaign violation. Yeah, we don't need to know that. So, yeah, so they're all the things you can and can't do being a convicted felon. So, yeah.
But he can still run for presidency.
From prison.
From prison.
And
isn't that crazy?
It is. And one of the reasons that is the case is because the forefathers, the founding fathers at the time, thought it was pretty obvious, but obviously not obvious enough, that someone who's going to be running would be reputable or reputable. Yeah. And that word I couldn't say last time, but I said it much
2
better
weeks
that
in a row
time
now.
twice. Yeah, there you go. And I'm going to find another word. Anyway, to run for office for president. They just thought it was a fait accompli that an idiot wouldn't be running, that was be running prison. But they obviously never thought of Orange Head at the time. So
no, and they didn't either think about the voters who would allow idiots to run and be voted in.
No, exactly right. Exactly right. Now, look, this is a bit of a scoop, and so I thought I'd share it with Blurt.
Excellent! I love scoops.
Yes, I know you do. So it's we've got some live stuff here from the Juror 11, from the jury of the Hush Money porn star. So just sit back and enjoy this little bit of audio video. The link will be in the show notes anyway, if you want to watch it on video. But it's just as easy to. Although I must admit there are some bits that are worth watching as well. So anyway, no further ado. Here we go.
Give it up for Louis Cato and the Late Show Band, everybody. There you go. Now, folks, as I mentioned over there in the monologue, Trump's New York trial is over, but there's still a lot of questions left. For example, where the hell was his family? Over the 7 weeks of the trial, only Eric regularly showed up. I'm here, and I'm also guilty of 34 counts of loving you. Now, notably absent has been Melania Trump. She has not released any public statements about the trial, and she never showed up in court. Even though on the day of the verdict, she was in Manhattan. So she was in New York, but we don't know where. That's interesting. Of course, the other big question now that the trial is over is, where are the jurors? They're now released by the judge and they're allowed to talk. So everyone in TV is fighting for the exclusive first interview. And ladies and gentlemen, The Late Show got it. Joining us right now on the condition of complete anonymity, please welcome juror number 11. Hello, juror number 11.
Hello, Stephen. It is great to be back on your show. I mean, on your show for the very first time.
Well, thank you. Your voice sounds kind of familiar.
Oh, Stephen, no, I am just a random New Yorker with a random New York accent. Forget about that. I am walking here. How about those Mets? Not good at baseball, yes?
You actually sound a lot like Melania Trump.
What? No, me? What? No.
Okay, my mistake. Juror number 11, let's talk about the trial. You found Trump guilty on all 34 counts.
Hell yes, we did.
He's dancing now. Silhouette of a woman dancing for those listening.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Still dancing.
Please, juror number 11, this is a family show, please. As one of jurors, do you have any thoughts about the sentencing? Because it could be just a fine.
Oh, yes. A fine could be fine.
Or wait. Or he might go to jail.
Okay, yeah. No, mommy like that.
Or he might go to arrest.
House arrest! No! Steven, no! That is cruel and unusual punishment for me.
I know. Lady Melania Trump, you actually served, wait a second, you served on your husband's jury?
Of course, Stephen. Everywhere I go, I am serving.
But is it even legal for you to serve on your husband's jury?
I'm a Trump. In our family, we don't really do legal.
Just being on the jury must have led to hard feelings between you and your husband.
Oh, please, Stephen. I haven't felt anything hard between us for years. Up top!
That's a good one.
It is a good one. That's why I wanted to share it.
Besides, Stephen, he didn't even realize I was there. I wore a disguise.
That's not exactly foolproof.
Oh, depends on the fool, Stephen. Boom! Goes Melania!
So it still must have been strange to be in the courtroom with your husband.
Oh, not at all. It reminded me of our wedding night.
Really?
Yes, he spent most of the time falling asleep and farting.
Was it upsetting to hear all that testimony about him cheating on you?
Stephen, at first I was shocked, like this. And then I felt sad, like this.
Same facial expression.
And I am finally happy.
Well, let's get back to the potential sentencing. There is a chance your husband could stay at Mar-a-Lago, but he'd have to be fitted with an ankle bracelet.
Oh, more like a cankle bracelet, Stephen. You're going to need one of those boots they put on a Buick.
Well, even though you didn't show much public support for your husband during the first trial, will we see you at his future trials?
I don't know, Stephen. Will you?
Juror number 11, everybody. We'll be right back with Alicia Keys.
I thought it was...
it'll definitely be on the show notes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolute fact. Thank you very much, Stephen Colbert. I need to get that actress's name as well, because she is just honestly off the planet. That is so funny. Yeah, that made me laugh with tears.
Yeah.
That was very funny. But anyway, so that really pretty much is that. We've had a long
big show tonight.
It has been a big show. We've covered a lot of stuff. And next week, I'm not sure what we're doing next week. But
I know we've got Joke of the Week that's been penciled in.
Yes,
hasn't
we'll
been locked in.
doing, absolutely. No, you absolutely will be Joke of the Week.
Locked
and
in? Lock it in, Eddie.
Yes, lock it in, Eddie. There'll be no Trump watch next week. But we just wanted to crowbar this one in just because of the fact that, we didn't even talk about the fact that he was found guilty on 34 felonies. We didn't even talk about that. But
I don't think we needed to. I think everyone knows about it. So
I was going to say, that's exactly right. I think that everyone probably does know a bit about it. So we didn't need to talk about it. But we did talk about the NHL finals, which is good because that's something that we don't normally talk about. So we learned a little bit there. And as we said before, if you want to make some notes in different channels, Instagram, I don't know, where else are we? Twitter, all those ones. Yeah. It's all in the show notes. If you subscribe to the podcast and you get the email, etc. Even if you don't get the email, all the stuff's where you can get in touch with us are in the show notes. Wencee's always got that in there. So yeah, if you want to at all, you can. It's not a problem. Thank you as always, Wencee. Absolute pleasure. Really, really enjoyed it as usual. And I will say good night.
Did you say good night?
I did.
You
I did.
And it's good night for me.